Fuhlsbüttel Prison. Germany's Fuhlsbüttel Prison is more like a fairy tale than a prison. It looks a lot like a castle in appearance. And the inmates who are serving long sentences have a fairly quiet life. They have access to washers and dryers, and live in comfortable cells with a bed, desk, and private shower. The cellmates even have a living room. Their rooms are more like a college dormitory. Sweden is going through an interesting time when it has to close prisons because of a shortage of prisoners. The money saved is used to prevent and reduce crime. Sollentuna Prison is a good example of this. It has a fully equipped gym. Inmates can cook their own food and enjoy it on the couch while watching TV shows. It is similar to life at home, but it is still a prison, which means you can't leave here at will. What the? Champdalen Prison. Switzerland. Switzerland is one of the most prosperous countries in the world, and even serving a sentence here can seem like a vacation, especially when compared to the world's worst prisons. Champdalen Prison, located in Geneva, Switzerland, underwent a $40 million renovation. It had problems with riots, disease, and overcrowding. Plus, the facility had gotten bad reviews from the Council of Europe's Anti-Torture Committee. Now the prison has a new wing with 3-bed cells, each with a private bathroom and nice permanent linens. Austria. When most people think of prison, they imagine a cramped cell with unacceptable living conditions. But this is definitely not the case with the Leoben Justice Center in Austria. It's called the most luxurious prison in the world for a reason. Although, of course, you still don't want to live there from the outside. It looks more like a Congress Center than a prison. There are 2 quotes on the outside of the building around the perimeter of the prison. They are as follows: "All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and all persons deprived of their liberty should be treated humanely and with respect for the inherent dignity of the human person." The Norwegian prison for especially dangerous criminals is every prisoner's dream. The prison on this island is home to the most dangerous criminals: murderers, rapists, drug dealers, and crooks. Norway is known for its truly humane penitentiary system, so it is the most desirable place where all prisoners dream of going. It is there that perhaps the most paradisiacal stronghold of order among all the prisons that exist today is located just an hour's drive from Oslo. Bastøy Island is a picturesque place accessible only by water transportation. The comfortable 115-bed facility is the world's first environmentally friendly prison. But what Bastøy Island doesn't have is barbed wire and angry guards with machine guns and sheepdogs. And this is despite the fact that there are the most notorious criminals of all stripes, from drug dealers and swindlers to rapists and murderers. Here, electricity is generated by solar panels, garbage is sorted, and fruits and vegetables are grown on their own land. All prisoners are involved in the maintenance of the prison, so maintenance is inexpensive. Inmates are allowed to swim in the sea and go horseback riding. As amazing as it may sound, the method of this fabulous prison works. According to statistics, 20% of offenders who have been in Norwegian prisons are resentenced several years after release. Of those who have had the opportunity to spend time in Bastøy, only 16% are resentenced. But Island in Panama is known as the site of a former prison that existed from 1919 to 2004. The prison held both common criminals and political prisoners, with very harsh conditions, and the island guarded by crocodiles and sharks. The island is now a national park and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Coiba is Panama's largest island, located in the Pacific Ocean, 20 kilometers from the mainland. In 1919, a prison was established on the island, where especially dangerous criminals and political opponents of the government were taken. The prison practiced brutal treatment of prisoners, including torture and executions. Rumor has it that the island was nicknamed the place where the disappeared go missing, and the prisoners were called Los Desaparecidos. Dictator Manuel Noriega was particularly active in using the prison. Interestingly, the prison on Coiba did not have traditional guards. The guards lived in the northern part of the island and were careful not to cross paths with the prisoners. However, escape was extremely difficult due to natural barriers: crocodiles in the water and sharks around the island. as well as the difficult jungle terrain. Despite this, according to some reports, up to 3,000 prisoners were held on the island. In 2005, the island of Koiba was declared a national park and a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to the fact that the island was a prison for a long time. 80% of its natural resources have remained intact. The island has preserved a variety of flora and fauna, including Ara parrots. Currently, the island is visited by tourists, but they need to travel to the island, located in the remote waters of the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by sharks and underwater reefs. Koiba Island is one of the most visited places in Panama. Interest in this island is fueled by the fact that it is home to the famous prison that held political prisoners during the reigns of dictators Omar Torrijos and Manuel Noriega. These were the darkest times in the prison's history. Prisoners were beaten, tortured, and even dismembered to feed to sharks. People who were imprisoned in Koiba, prison for their political beliefs, became known as Los Desaparecidos, or the disappeared, because they were usually never seen again. Stories of paranormal activity have been going around about this place for a long time. Prisoners and wardens alike have witnessed many of the extraordinary things that have happened here. There is a story of a failed escape where a prisoner made himself a raft and tried to swim to the mainland. When he was caught, he confessed that he had not escaped because of the inhuman conditions or the cruelty of the guards. He could no longer stay on the island because of his great fear of ghosts and spirits who lived in the prison. Another story involves a brutal guard. Once he chased a prisoner, and when he caught up with him, he realized that he was chasing a ghost. Many witnesses claim that after this incident, the guard underwent a dramatic change. His sanity was shaken, and after a while he shot himself in the forehead. There are many other stories that surround this remote Panamanian island. Tales of chilling screams and disturbing creaks of rusty doors are told. Whispers and ghostly voices are heard in the humming passages. At night, the figure of a lone guard who has fashioned himself out of a metal bar can be seen. The people have left the place, and the old prison lies in ruins, slowly overgrown by the jungle. It awaits the next brave men who dare to enter its gates. Interestingly, although the prison was closed in 2004, this place is still considered cursed among Panamanians. Apparently, thanks to this reputation, the island has preserved unique species of animals that have not been touched by poachers for many years now. Several scientists live and work on the island, studying the unique flora and fauna. These areas are included in the Koiba National Park. This is how it happens, and this, of course, is the amazing irony of life. The place that was the most destructive and torturous for people has become a paradise for wild animals. Koiba remained a prison until modern times. The locals called the people who went here disappeared for the whole history of the island. Not a single person returned from it. Now, the island is considered to be a part of the national park. However, tourists are still in no hurry to explore it.